Hello, my name is Frank Fulco. I'm the CEO for Cosmetologist Chicago and America's Beauty Show. It is my honor to speak with you today. Before I get started, I would like to thank the leadership at EBITDA, the International Beauty Industry Trade Association, for their courage and their initiative to contact America's Beauty Show on your behalf. EBITDA is working to help you succeed. Thank you, Julia and JT, for your leadership. Let's get started. Over the next 15 to 20 minutes, I would like to review the following with you. I'd like to talk about our partnership, the partnership between EBITDA and America's Beauty Show. We're going to talk about the beauty industry itself from a global perspective and drilling in on what it means to do business in the U.S. beauty industry. I want to help you understand what you can expect if doing business with a retailer in the United States. Then we'll talk a little bit about next steps, what you need to do if you want to get started with doing business in the beauty industry in the United States. Then I'll open it up to any questions that you may have. I'm a resource for you, and I will answer any of your questions to the best of my ability, and then we'll close the meeting. My goal for this presentation is to help you understand and help you prepare for doing business in the beauty industry. Getting a purchase order is only the beginning. I can tell you this from experience. It's only the beginning. There are many operational and financial requirements that go with each purchase order. Over the next 15 to 20 minutes, we're going to talk about some of them, as well as some strategies that you can deploy that will help you prepare. It is the shared goal of both EBITDA and America's Beauty Show for you to flourish and achieve all of your goals. And we want to help you specifically do that in the United States. About our partnership. The partnership between EBITDA and America's Beauty Show was meant to be. Both organizations are focused on serving others. We are focused on serving you. In April of 2021, we signed an agreement, and this agreement simply states that we will work together to create opportunities for you to meet with buyers in the United States. We cannot guarantee your success, nor can we guarantee that this will happen. But what we can guarantee is that both EBITDA and America's Beauty Show will work together to try to create these opportunities for you to succeed. It's up to you, and we are here to help you achieve your goals. Due to the global pandemic, for 2021, we are going to focus on creating these opportunities to meet with buyers. We're going to focus on doing that digitally. The global pandemic has complicated this environment, and we feel that digital is the best way to do that for 2021. In 2022, we are going to be focused on doing this both in person and digital, because by 2022, we hope that the global pandemic is much more under control. In 2022, America's Beauty Show will be your destination to meet with buyers in person. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. So let's talk a little bit about the beauty industry. And I'd like to start out by talking about it from a global basis. Let's look at some global statistics. The beauty industry on a global basis is a big business. And I mean a big business. By the year 2027, the global beauty industry is projected to be over $784 billion. With that big opportunity comes big competition. There are many major global brands that are capturing a lot of market share. L'Oreal, Henkel, Unilever, Procter & Gamble, Estee Lauder, just to mention a few. These companies are world-class competitors. And what that means for you is simply this. If you want to compete in the beauty industry, you got to be on top of your game. you have to be prepared. It also means that because there are these global players in there, there's opportunities for niche, bespoke, organic products that really serve a need, whether it's from a brand perspective or from a unique design perspective of an individual product. There's an opportunity. So on a global basis, the market is big, the competition is fierce, but the opportunity for you is big. Let's take a look at what the beauty industry looks like in the United States. The United States is the single largest market for the beauty industry. Over $80 billion a year is done in the beauty industry, and it's growing. When you break down the $80 billion, it really comes down to three segments of the market. One, hair care is the largest segment at 24%. Second, skincare is at 23.7%. And the third segment is cosmetics. Cosmetics are at 14.6%. Those three categories make up the majority of the market in the U.S. beauty industry. So what are some trends that you can look for in the U.S.? You know, the U.S. is a big market, so what are some trends? There are four. The first is buyers are looking for natural or organic or clean products to sell and to feature. Products that use natural ingredients are in demand. AI and AR in the sales process. The cosmetics business has shifted. A greater percentage is now being done online. And with that comes the opportunity to use augmented reality, or AR, in the sales process. Customers can try on lipsticks or eyeliners or eyeshadows to be able to see what it looks like on them. Hair loss continues to be a challenge for the U.S. market. So many folks suffer from trichotillomania, or male pattern baldness, or female pattern baldness due to the environment or prescriptive medications. Hair loss is a big opportunity in the United States. And last but not least, from a trend perspective, the shift from retail to online. Retail still dominates the beauty industry. 81% of the sales being done in the beauty industry is currently being done through retail. But retail is declining, and that decline is being offset by the growth in online sales. So retail is declining, online sales is inclining, and the difference is overall growth. So with these trends, what are some strategies that you can deploy when preparing to do business in the United States? So we talked about the global business. The global business is large. The United States is the single largest market for the beauty industry. And within the United States, there's these four trends that are happening. So in preparation, what are some strategies that you can do to be able to be in position to capitalize on the U.S. market? So when we look at these strategies, I want you to think about what's important to the buyer. What's important to the beauty buyer at Walmart? What's important to the beauty buyer at Target? What's important to the beauty buyer at Ulta or other major retailers? So think about these strategies as to what's important to the buyer. There's four things that are critically important to the buyer. Number one, the ingredients of your product. How's your product made? Does your product contain natural ingredients? Is your product being made in a cruelty-free environment? Is your product being made in an environment that promotes safe labor practices? All of these are critically important. So when we think about the ingredients or the way that your product is made or how your product is made or what your product is made with, that is critically important to the buyer. Second, what's critically important to the buyer is their margin. Yes, the retailers in the U.S. are thirsty for margin, especially those retailers that are owned by that are traded in the public market. Their margin is critical, and they're going to ask. So in preparation, I would encourage you to be thinking that your margin for the buyer needs to be in the vicinity of 55% or higher. Third, they're going to ask about your supply chain and your ability to fulfill your orders on time and as needed. These retailers are working on very short operational margins with their supply chain. So their distribution centers are looking for the orders to arrive a certain way, packed a certain way to mitigate damages. So your supply chain capabilities are going to be critically important. And last but not least, your digital presence. Is your brand relevant? Is your product relevant? Are you capable of being able to be identified with a customer segment and engage a customer segment about your product or your brand? Your digital presence is more critical now than ever before. It will not ensure your success, but it will validate to the buyer your ability to have a product that's relatable to a group of customers. So your digital presence. So strategies that you can be thinking about as you're coming to do business in the United States and you're sitting down with a buyer in the beauty industry in the United States. What are my ingredients? What is my margin? Is it strong enough for them? Is my supply chain capable of fulfilling orders on a short lead time in a way that's disciplined? And do I have a digital presence that's strong enough to validate that I have a strong product? So let's say you get the opportunity to get a purchase order, or you get the opportunity to meet with the buyer at a Target or at a Walmart. What can you expect? Here's what you should expect. First thing they're going to ask you is, what's my margin? And their expectations are it needs to be north of 55%. They're going to expect allowances for damages or defectives. So plan on another 2 to 3% allowances for damages or defectives. If they are a major retailer and their shelves are full, they may ask you for a slotting allowance. And what this allows them to do is dispose of the inventory of a competitive brand and bring your brand in and put it in that space. Payment terms. Cash flow is very important to retailers, so they're going to ask you for payment terms. Some companies may ask for up to 90 or 120 days of terms, especially for a large order. But standard practice will be between 30 to 90 days. They're going to ask for shorter lead times. Why? Because retailers do not want to carry inventory, especially publicly traded retailers. Working capital is critically important to managing stock valuations. So they're going to ask for short lead times so they can hold and manage the inventory for as short of a period of time as possible. And last but not least, returns. We all want to believe that our products are going to succeed, they're going to do incredibly well. But what happens if they don't? The retailers are going to want to know that they can send a return back to you and you'll take it. So it's a great opportunity. It's a great thing to cherish, getting a large purchase order from one of these large retailers. But it's also something that you need to be very thoughtful about. Because if it doesn't work out, then the investment that you've made could come all the way back in returns. So you have to be very thoughtful and very calculated about how you go about getting your purchase orders and to what degree, and how you go about doing business to mitigate your risk if it doesn't work out. So you can expect questions on margin, allowances, payment terms, lead times, and returns. Okay, So let's say you're ready to get started and it's time for next steps. You're like, you know what? I'm ready to go. It's really going to be up to you. And here's what I would suggest that you do is you start to prepare and you're like, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do business in the United States. Here's the steps that I would encourage you to take. Step number one is ask yourself, what do you want to achieve by going to the U.S. and participating in the beauty industry? So what do you want to achieve? Secondly, you go there, you do it. When is enough enough? You have to ask yourself that question. If you succeed and you do very well, when is enough enough? The third step is how much are you willing to invest and for what period of time? Based on my experience, and I'm just one person, it takes longer than what you expect. So you have to ask yourself, how much are you willing to invest and for what period of time? Step number 4, start today, but grow your digital presence. This is one of the most important things that you can do. It takes time, but your digital presence will validate to a buyer that you have a brand or a product that is relatable to a large group of people. So start today, grow your digital presence. Step 5, drive down those costs. Grow your gross margin. You're going to need the margin percentage points because when you go to the United States in the beauty industry, you're going to get asked for margins, you're going to get asked for allowances, you're going to get asked for returns. So grow your gross margin now. After you've done these 5 steps, you've asked yourself these questions, you're focused on your digital, you're growing your margin, it's time to engage in the U.S. market. And you'll do well, you'll succeed because you're prepared. So where are you going to get started? Let's say you're ready to go. Well, with your partnership with EBITDA, it's as simple as starting right there. The team at EBITDA is, again, with their partnership with us at America's Beauty Show, we've been working together to create opportunities for you to get started in the United States. And in 2021, again, we want to focus on these digital opportunities to meet with buyers. So we formed an agreement with the #1 digital buyer, seller, matchmaker in the world, ECRM. And ECRM has 4 events coming up, beginning as recently or as shortly as here in July. So from July through November, ECRM has 4 events lined up that you can participate in, and more information can be found on their website as well as simply calling EBITDA, and they will help you get lined up and get set up for one of these digital events in 2021. In 2022, yes, America's Beauty Show. Again, our partnership with EBITDA is wonderful. We want to have you at our show in 2022, and that's April 9th through 11th in Chicago, Illinois, my hometown. And this will be in person. It'll be a professional trade show. You'll be focused on meeting with buyers in the professional beauty industry. This is different than the consumer side of the beauty industry. This is the professional beauty industry. We sell to licensed beauty professionals, salon owners, specialty retailers that service salons. This is a wonderful piece of the beauty industry. And again, we would love to have you at America's Beauty Show exhibiting. EBITDA will have information on America's Beauty Show. So again, please contact them. And then later in 2022, we're going to have a digital event, again, partnering with EBITDA to bring you closer to buyers within the professional beauty industry. So 2021, we can get started as soon as July. We have this agreement with ECRM. It's digital, it's online. You can participate right from your office. And then in 2022, assuming that things improve with the global pandemic, we look forward to seeing everyone and us all being together in Chicago in April.